Hi, my friends. I would like to do a review of this awesome new tarot deck called the Animal Guides Tarot. This is by Radleigh Valentine, and I just adore Radleigh Valentine's decks. I do have another deck that I use, and I started using this deck. It is new, and I just adore it. I did a flip through and now I would just like to do a review with you because I've acquainted myself with the cards and I just adore them. First off, they are based on the original tarot with just a few little differences. And I always suggest to use the actual guidebook of whether it be oracle decks or tarot decks because the cards are always tailored a little bit. Sometimes they might have a theme, sometimes they might be adjusted just a little bit as far as the guidance goes. And there's always some interesting tidbits of information in the introduction and how to use the cards. So it's really, really fun to use the guidebook and use the guidance that is contained within them because it really changes your reading and it can make it really fun, especially if you want some to spice up your readings and make something a little bit different. So what's really interesting about Radleigh Valentine's tarot decks, and he describes it really well here in the guidebook. As you know, there's major and minor arcana, and the suits typically from tarot traditionally were wands, cups, swords, and coins. In this particular deck, Radleigh Valentine uses the elements, which is really telling, really fun to use. So he uses fire for the wands, the fire element for wands, the water element for cups, the air element for swords, and the earth element for coins. And each suit has that focus, so it brings kind of another aspect that's really fun to work with if you like working with the elements. And also the guidance in Radleigh Valentine's guidebook is really has a positive spin to it. And I'm really all for that. I believe that we're very powerful beings and that we can manifest very strongly. So why not use positive vibration, positive language to manifest what we're after. So as usual, tarot readings and oracle readings are sort of a look on the situation at hand. If we don't change what our life is, what our path is, that's the reading that we'll have. So I like the positive angle that Radleigh Valentine uses in the guidance. It really gives us sort of some steps of what it is that we can do. Where should we go? What's the next avenue for us? So I'm just going to do just a small little poll just to do a sample reading just for fun and hoping that, thank you. As usual, the guides are on the job. So I'm hoping for a 3-card pull just so that we can have a look at the cards and the guidance that's contained in the guidebook. So I'm asking my guides. We already have one card that popped up. I'm asking my guides and your guides, whoever is here watching me at any time at all, if we can have a card that's going to resonate for us. And there's a lot of cards trying to pop up. Here's another. Thank you. And I would like to have a 3rd card, please, from the guides. If you can bring out one more card, I'd be so appreciative. Thank you. They're on the job. So I pulled 3 cards here, and I want to go consult directly from the guidebook so that you can see how beautiful the guidance is in this actual deck. So, and again, I know tarot readers, when we're used to reading cards, will have a tendency to just avoid the guidebook and go with the typical way that we read, and that's a-okay. It's just that the guidance is so inspirational. So let's go ahead. So the first card I pulled, we can call this maybe a past, present, future, or a this, that, and the other reading. So let's just see what we got here today. We have the Page of Air. And these cards are wonderful because they do give keywords at the top of the card. And the Page of Air is logical, truthful, curious, undiplomatic, and it is the seagull. The seagull, it says this is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. This is the guidance that I'm telling you about, how positive, or it's giving us sort of a way and a path forward. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So let's go see in the guidebook what Radleigh Valentine um, writes for the Page of Air. In this particular tarot deck, there's no reversed guidance. You could certainly use reversed guidance without a problem. I would have a tendency to use if the card would fall reversed, I would say that the energy is unconscious, or that this situation might be out of our hands or something like that. You could read it reversed in that way. But the guidance for the Page of Air from Radleigh Valentine is as follows. The seagull is an intriguing intellectual challenge, kindness in communication, changes or delays that require your attention. Here's the guidance. The situation speaks to your ability to think your way through any challenge that's presented to you. Because emotions are not always engaged with the seagull, it's important to remember to be compassionate. In your haste to solve a problem, you could speak more harshly than you mean to, or helpful information may be delivered to you in not the kindest of ways. Check contracts very carefully and gratefully accept objective feedback. The seagull represents a person who is excellent at assisting and solving any intellectual problems in a flash. I really love the guidance, the way it's worded here. However, her desire to be of assistance and her purely analytical way of thinking means she might communicate her solution rather curtly. So it's interesting. I like the way it's presented. Logical, truthful, curious, and rather undiplomatic, she is resourceful in a pragmatic way that may accidentally leave out the pleasantries. I really like the way it's worded. She doesn't mean to be unkind. In fact, if she realizes she has hurt your feelings, she will be very apologetic. Just remember that she's brilliant and has great ideas. So heed the message and ignore the messenger. If you can see past her lack of compassionate communication skills, she'll be of great help to you. It's such a nice way of wording the guidance. Seagulls are clever birds who learn, remember, and even pass on behaviors. As their name implies, they spend a good bit of time in the air and over water. As water represents emotion and air intellect, they are seen as flying high above currents of emotion and evaluating situations from a very cerebral viewpoint. So, just awesome guidance with these particular cards, with the tarot meaning, of course, the standard tarot meaning, but then with the animal guidance as well. So just wonderful. And the illustrations are by Dan Craig. They're just beautiful. So the next card that we just flew out of the deck, wonderful. I'm so happy that I'm getting this card for you so that we can show exactly what this is. Isn't this interesting? Card number 13 for tarot readers. This is called Release. Isn't that interesting? I just love the wording, and there's something to be said. It's usually, for folks who don't know, it's usually the death card. And that's, I know that it can be a heavy word. So release is such a better, I shouldn't say better. It's just a word that people can tolerate easier. So the card number 13, the major arcana release, is the peacock. It's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. It's the same as the death card, the same thing, but the word itself is just has maybe a meaning that that is easier to take, and that is absolutely significant. So let's see how the guidance is presented for the card, the Major Arcana Release, card number 13. The peacock signifies immortality, letting go of the past, endings that lead to new beginnings, rejuvenation. This is standard tarot interpretation. The confidence to move on, birth and rebirth, rising up from the ashes. And the guidance from Radleigh Valentine. Endings can be challenging or they can be exhilarating. The famous saying, whenever the universe closes a door, somewhere it opens a window. This applies to you. If the closing door you're experiencing is difficult, look for the window. The divine is providing you with the opportunity to rejuvenate, bring in fresh air, and grow into something more. Your angels will lead you to a more joyful life. If the ending that has presented itself is something you've been hoping for, like the end of a career you no longer enjoy, well, then celebrate. Endings always lead to new beginnings, and this is central to the symbolism of the peacock, which this is what's wonderful about this particular deck is we're integrating yet again the animal guidance. The peacock is a bird that's often associated with the famed phoenix that rises from the ashes to live again. This bird of self-confidence and inspiration says, let go and let God. Embrace the changes that are happening and know that they will bring blessings in your life, even if you can't see them right now. Wow, I just love this reading. Let's see the last card. I can't wait. Ah, Six of Water. So awesome. And we're using the elements again. The water element is cups, and it is the goose. The guidance just at the bottom of the card here says the love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. What a beautiful card. And let's go see the guidance that Radleigh Valentine gives us for the Six of Water specifically in the guidebook. Again, such a nice angle that's with the wording and the guidance that's in this book here. So first off, there's a little mention of the goose, and the goose is loyalty and faithfulness to others, care of and devotion to children, the importance of communication. The guidance. At times, your view of a situation or another person may be colored by your past experiences. Sometimes geese pop up to make you aware that your recollection of something that happened in the past has been exaggerated to be either far better or far worse than it really was. Old memories might be brought up so that they can be healed, or possibly long forgotten dreams from childhood are ready to be reborn. I love it. This card can also indicate that someone from your past is coming back into your life for platonic or even romantic reasons. I love it. Geese are extremely honorable birds. In fact, they will never abandon one of their own. If a wounded goose cannot fly on with the others, at least one will stay behind until the goose has recovered or passed on. Similarly, geese are devoted to their life mates and their young, just like the little family on the card. Let's look at that again. It's so adorable. Because they lay so many eggs, geese lay up to 50 eggs a year. They're a sign of fertility as well. The old stories of Mother Goose make this bird the perfect symbol for children, child rearing, and childhood in general. Many of the beliefs and perceptions that people carry are established during childhood. Take a moment to consider how the past is related to your current situation. Wow. So we have really a moment that we have a challenging situation that may be delivered. We might have solutions that are delivered to us bluntly, but we need to look at the message and accept the message as it comes. And we are really at a time of releasing the old to let in the new. It's a huge time of transformation, and I think people who are sensitive to the energies do realize that. So we can go with the flow with this awesome time of transformation, and then just be ready to receive what is coming our way, as far as love, as far as children, as far as connecting with our past, and possibly connecting with somebody from our past as well, for a friendship that's rekindled, or even a romance. Let's see. I I I just adore the energy of animals, and I believe that animals communicate with us on a deeper level than we can ever imagine. Animals are there to give us signs. They are there to heal us. I do not believe in human healers. I believe that animals are the real healers. As a Reiki master myself, I trust in the guidance and powerful, powerful messages that the animals have to give us. And I believe that animals are the real shamans and are the real masters. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope this resonates with you. And I look forward to being with you again. I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.